Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Ralphson. It's Alex here from Skoda. I'm just going to run you guys through all the different controls, what everything does, and basically how everything works in your new Karoq. So I'm just sat here now. Do enjoy the video, guys, and obviously ask any questions you may have when you come collect the car on Wednesday. But hopefully this will beat you to a few of those. So sit back and enjoy, guys. So I'll just start down here. So down on my left, you've got your handbrake. Now, as you all know at the moment, that is currently in the on position. To take it off, you can do two things. You can either put the gear stick into reverse and tap your foot on the accelerator, or you can put your foot on the brake like I'm doing now, push it down, and it will then release as well. So you can do either of those two ways. And then just to put the handbrake on, just literally lift it up there. Now this little A, this is auto hold. So if, for example, when the engine's on, you can press this and it will go yellow. And that will mean the auto hold is on, just like the handbrake. And that will mean that basically whenever you turn off the engine to the car, it will automatically apply that handbrake for you. So as I say, if you want to turn that on, turn the engine on, press that, it will go yellow, and then every time after that, all you do is stop the car and the handbrake will automatically apply for you. So really, really easy. Now just below as well, you've got your traction control button. So we always advise you leave this on. This helps with the car's braking and electronic system, and it essentially helps you stick to the road. Every car has it. Most people never touch it, and I always advise not to do so. If you do though, guys, it will show yellow, and there will be tons and tons of warning lights that do appear on that dashboard there. So it will make it very evident that that has been nudged off. You've then also got your driving mode. So you've got different mode on there, and it will then change to either normal, sport or eco, or individual. So eco, you'll get slightly better miles to the gallon, and it will actually soften the suspension as well to make it a little bit of a smoother ride. Click it again, you go to normal, as the car's supposed to be driven, and then putting it into sports mode will actually tighten up that suspension, make it a little bit faster. So by all means, please do feel free. I mean, for me, I normally drive an eco, as I do like the extra miles to the gallon, but as I say, choose whichever you like on there, guys, and all you have to do is click the mode button on here. You can either click the mode button again, or you can use your finger and just swap between the different modes. So really, really simple there, guys. Now, just on your gear stick here, I know you guys are already going to be pretty familiar with this, but it's currently in park, just over there, just at the top P. And then all you want to do is you just want to move it down to reverse, neutral, and drive. Now, when you're in drive here, it'll pop up on the dashboard saying D1. So in the top right of that screen, just over here, it says D1. Now what I can do is put the car into sport mode. I'm just going to literally go and pull this back. It's spring loaded and it'll bounce back. And that changes to S1. And S1 is your sports mode one. So that puts the gearbox into sport. So instead of the car changing gear like it normally would, let's say about 3,000 revs or so, the car will then change gear at about 4,000 or 5,000 revs. So it will be noisier, but you'll get a lot quicker acceleration through the gears. So if you're going onto the motorway, you just want that extra bit of oomph, just literally pull the gear stick down, and I'm just going to do it again, literally like that. It'll put it then back into drive, and you can just do that as many times as you like, and it will switch between whichever one. Now you can actually go a couple of stages further. So with the automatics with Skoda and all VW group, you can actually do manual shift as well. So all I did there was just push it over to the left. The dashboard changes to M1. And then if you wanted to, you're driving, you go, oh, gear 2, gear 3, gear 4, gear 5, gear 4, gear 3, gear 2, gear 1. You can do all of this as you're driving. You can do all of that as many times as you like. It won't impact or injure the gearbox at all. It's designed to do that. So please do have a bit of a play around with that, guys. It's really, really cool and really good fun to use. Now you have also got, just on here, so wait for the camera to focus there, you've also got flappy paddles. So you've got the ability to drop a gear with the minus on here, or to raise a gear with the little flappy paddle on here. So again, if you want to do an overtake, for example, and you think, oh, I just want to get a bit of extra speed, click that button there. That will drop you down one gear, you accelerate, and then it'll take back over with automatic, unless you want to use the different paddles on there. So a couple of different options of how you want to drive, but 99% of the time, guys, people literally leave it into drive, which is what I do, and then I just use my foot on the accelerator and the brake. Makes it really nice and easy. Now you have also got, guys, down here, you've got a USB charger, so typically your phone charger, and then your cigarette lighter just above that in old money as well. You've got your heated seat, so heated for the front driver side, medium, low, and then off. Same with the passenger side just over there. Now with the climate control, guys, you're individually, it runs via an individual temperature. So I choose the driver's side with this scroller here, and then passenger side with this side over here. Really, really simple to use, guys. I'm sure you guys will have probably seen most of the buttons on this system before, but you've got your front windscreen, rear windscreen, and if you forget which way around it is like me, just think this one's closer to the windscreen at the front. So front windscreen there, rear windscreen to turn the whole system off. If you want to increase the fan speed and you want to turn that up and get it really blowing in here, just the center one. Sync will actually make both of those temperatures exactly the same, so you click that and it will jump to 27 degrees. You then got your air conditioning button, your auto, and the auto will basically allow the car to take over the vents and the different powers in the car to basically get the whole car up to temperature. So if you click that, it might increase the fan speed, but it'll be doing that just so it can get the full car to that one required temperature that you're after. You've then got your directional arrows, guys, with your front windscreen and down towards your feet, towards your chest, towards your feet, and your air recirculating as well in the car. Just below, you've got your central locking. And as with all the things with Skoda, it'll show yellow when it's in action, so it goes yellow there. You've got your hazard lights. Your parking sensors are always on by default. If you turn the engine off and turn it back on, they will always come up with the sound, unless you click this one here, and that goes yellow, and that will turn off the sensor sound. Now, again, my advice is always to leave it on, but some people, they don't like it, and that's absolutely fine. The great thing about cars nowadays is you basically have the option to choose whatever you like. Now, just going up to the big old screen at the top here, guys. So, first of all, you've got your DAB digital radio on here, guys. Now, this person's had saved in these different 5 radio stations. You have up to 15 different slots just by scrolling it across that you can save your favorite stations in. Now, to do this, it's really simple. You go station list. You go, okay, what do I want to listen to? Well, let's go on D1 National. Let's go Absolute Radio. So we want to save Absolute Radio. We click it. The little green arrow comes up saying a little play symbol at the end over there. Go back. All I do then, hold it down for a few seconds and you'll see it saves Absolute in there. Now you can save over the top of all of these as many times as you like. There's no maximum limit, but find which stations you like, guys, and then input them in there. As I say, it's really easy and it just makes it super easy when you want to change station as well. Now, to change from your DAB digital radio to FM or AM, please use one of those two on there, guys. But again, digital's king these days, so by all means, everything you can get on AM and FM, you can get on digital, and it will have a better quality of sound generally as well, and you'll actually have better reception in a lot of places. So my advice is always to stick with DAB digitally. You've then got down here, if you wanted to, you can manually tune the radio. Now, I think this is more of a novelty thing. I have never tuned a radio in my life, so I will, I'm sure you guys will have a few more skills in that than myself. But as I say, everything's preloaded in there, guys. Literally just go to the station list tab and then click on that, and it will come up with, I think, 118 stations in total to choose from. Just on your view, you can choose to change how the layout looks on here as well. I'll leave some of this stuff, guys, as well. I never want to go through everything because part of the enjoyment for me is actually finding out what the car does and having a bit of a fiddle. So all of these little subheadings along here, guys, these will all have their own settings. There is a surprising amount of stuff you can configure and change in the car. So by all means, I'll leave all of those up to you guys. Have a bit of a play. As I say, all you do is just go, click the settings button. Media will have its own settings, phone, nav, etc., etc. Now, media is how you're wanting to play music. So you can either choose to play music through Bluetooth, through USB, through SD card, or you can do WLAN, which will connect the car to an internet source so you can connect it to your house. Now, I'd imagine, guys, that you're probably not going to want to be connecting your car to your house, but you may want to do the Bluetooth. So this brings me on nicely to the phone bit as well. So all you do, if you want to connect your phone to Bluetooth, is you just go on Find Mobile Telephone, you go on Results on there, and then as long as Bluetooth is on your phone, it will come up there saying, for example, Jack's iPhone. You then click on there, it'll say, would you like to connect, yes or no? You click yes. It'll say the same on your phone, would you like to connect, yes or no? You click yes again. It will then say, would you like to import your contact list to the car? You click yes. Would you like to import your messages to the car? Again, yes or no, depending what you prefer. And then that's it. You literally click those 4 buttons. Your phone's then connected. So if anybody called you, it'll come through the hands-free system in the car, and you can then just answer by clicking answer on there, and then you can make that call safely and legally as well. Now with your voice activation, again, a lot of people don't use this, but it's completely up to you if you'd like to. Again, it does require your phone to be connected, and you can then just click on either on the steering wheel here with a little picture of the voice, or you can click voice there and you can give a voice command. So for example, you could go, call Emma Smith. It will then find Emma Smith in your phone book. It will then call out to Emma Smith. Have a bit of a play with it, guys. It's great fun. There is an owner's manual which will give you a refresher on this if you wanted to have a bit of a play around, and that's just in the glove box for you guys as well. Just over to here. So now with your nav, super simple. I know you guys are going to be using this quite a lot. So all it is, you just got your current location here. You can choose to recenter the map with this little picture of the car. So if I just move that off there, recenter him. You could have the map north facing, which I think is a little bit nicer as well. You can see a little bit further. And to set your destination, guys, you go new destination. I'm just going to change this layout because I personally find that it's actually a little bit easier. Oh, there you are. It's actually a little, actually no, go back to the other one. It's a little bit easier, I find, like this. So guys, all you do, I'll go back again. Just go new destination down here. Click on where it says city, and in the bottom left, it'll say PTCD. Click PTCD, pop in your postcode there. I'm just going to put in the dealership's postcode. So WR24SF, it will then come up and say, oh yeah, it's Worcester, England. We know it's there. Yeah, absolutely, that's where we know it is. Click start. It will then give us 3 options for the routes, guys. So, I mean, it does struggle because we're here, basically. But it's basically got on there 4 minutes and it's half a mile per one. But if you're doing a longer journey, as I said, the economical route will be the green, the fastest will be the red, and the orange will be the kind of combined or the other route, in open quotes. So do click on whichever one of those you prefer. It will then zoom in. And then it'll also do the same to this dashboard. So we haven't touched this at all. Whenever you set the sat nav, it will then automatically change this. So it'll come up with the directions. Now, when you get onto the road, it'll make a lot more sense. And it will say, keep going down the road in 1.2 miles, turn left, 1.1. And it will obviously give you that cue to turn as well. And so you can have it on there and on there, whichever you prefer. You can zoom out just using this scroller here. And you can get a bit more of a sense of where you are. Now to cancel the route, guys, you go on route, stop route guidance. Really, really easy to do. So as I say, new destination, click city, click PTCD, and then put your postcode in. Now destinations on here, you've got your home address, that you can store. I personally don't do that just for safety reasons, but again, it's completely up to you. You can have a look at the last destinations. You can look at all the destinations you've searched for in total. You can go on routes and you can change and alter the route. If you wanted to do a long journey, I know, over to Spain or over to France, whatever it may be, click on routes and then you can have a bit of a play around and store which way you'd like to go. You've got your points of interest, guys. So these ones you can customize by going into your settings. So it'll say POIs. The favorites at the moment are petrol stations, car parks and restaurants. And you can customize this to show cinemas, to show parks, to show, I don't know, shopping centers, whatever it may be you guys are looking out for. And then as you're driving around, it will actually pop up on there with a little picture of a car park, and a little pop up with a little picture saying H for hotel, or whichever it is you'll kind of keep an eye out for. So again, have a bit of a play with that, guys. POIs, you can customize those in the settings. Now again, you've got the view, you can change it, and again, I'll let you have a play with all this stuff because this is the cool stuff. You can change it to 3D, you can change it to night mode if you wanted to. For example, I'm actually a little bit colorblind, guys, and I struggle quite a lot with seeing the green on the map when I'm driving, so I personally leave mine in night mode all the time. You can leave it in auto and it'll do it itself depending on the light outside as well. So leave that up to you guys as how you want to customize that one. You can have the voice announcement. So some people love it, some people hate it. The voice announcement where it goes turn left in 300 yards. You can then alter that with the announcement and you can make that really loud or you can make that really quiet, whatever you prefer. And you just do that by clicking the announcement. And with this bar at the bottom, guys, you give this about 5 seconds and all the icons will disappear. Wave your hand in front of it and it will then pop up again. Now down to app as well. So this is for your smart link. Now this is where you can connect your phone to the car via the charging cable. So that little USB port down there, plug that one end into there, the other end into your phone. It'll then say, would you like to connect to Apple CarPlay? In which you click yes on the screen in the car. and it will then mirror your phone screen onto the screen in the car here. So if you wanted to use Google Maps, you could plug in your cable, other end into your phone, you could run Google Maps on your phone, and it will then show the Google Maps through the big screen in the center. Likewise for playing music, guys, if you want to do that, it makes it really easy, or again, you can do that via the Bluetooth, whichever you prefer. Now you've got car on here, guys, which is basically your different trips that go along with the car. So you can see on there you've got total mileage, you've got the total hours the car's been driven, but I'd say this is probably this month. You've then got the average miles an hour, the average MPG, and you've got a green score of 91. Now the green score is a score that's generated out of 100, designed to give a reflection of how economically you were driving on those various routes that you were driving on. You've also then got the 90 miles on there for the range of the fuel in the tank. Click car again. Again, it'll give you a breakdown of your green score. The vehicle status will tell you if you're having any issues. So if you were to have a puncture, it'll come up on here to tell you. And then again, also on the dashboard just in the center as well. But again, no entries, no problems. And by all means, I hope there won't be any at all for you guys. And then you've got your menu. And your menu is essentially just a little picture version of these different subheadings you've got on here. You've got traffic, which has got built-in traffic announcements. So once you guys set your sat-nav up, it will tell you if there's any breakdowns, any accidents, anything happening on the roads, and you can then click on it and get a little bit more detail as to where that is and how long it's going to potentially take to kind of get around that. But as I say, that'll do all that automatically. Once you put in your sat-nav destination, it'll then let you know if there is any traffic at all on the way. Now you can adjust again your sound settings, have a play with that. You can upload your images to the car. You can also connect an iPad and play music or images through the iPad through the car. You've then got the generic settings for the whole vehicle, and you've got the air conditioning as well. Now this is really quite cool. You access this, guys, by either doing it like I just did then through the touch screen, or clicking menu here. It will then give you the air conditioning in an electronic format. So you can then go, okay, we want to put the AC on as well. We want to change that down to 25 degrees. And it makes it super simple. Again, it's just a digital version of what you've got down below, just down here, guys. So feel free, whichever you prefer to, with one of those, whichever you prefer to use. Now, just rolling over to the next screen, guys, as well. So I hope you're not getting too bored of my voice. I'm sorry, it is quite a lengthy video, guys. I do try and keep them short and sweet, but there's so much that these cars do that it's hard to kind of get through these pretty fast. So you've got on here, guys, you've got your volume. So up, down, and then to mute it, you just push that little scroller in, and it will mute it, and then again up and down for your volume. Forwards and backwards to your next track. That could be through the Bluetooth, through your phone. It could be by all means to the next radio station. Whatever it may be, that will take you to the next one or to the previous one. You've also then got this little picture of a car here in the center. Now, all vehicles that Skoda build come with an emergency braking feature as standard. It is very standard nowadays, and I'm pretty sure most manufacturers now have something like this. But Front Assist will essentially brake for you if there is a crash situation. Let me explain. So if, for example, we're driving at 50 miles an hour and the car in front is driving at 50 miles an hour. Now, if I'm there going behind him, if I may be looking out the window, there's a nice sunset, or if somebody's waving to me or whatever it may be, this person in front, they slam their brakes on. Now, our car is constantly calculating the distance between us and the car in front and how fast we're going to get there. And it will work out that in 2.3 seconds, I'm going to hit into the back of that person, judging by the speed and the distance I've got to cover. Once I kind of reach the point of no return, and it is gone past the point where I'm going to be able to brake safely, the car knows how fast it can brake. If it's a crash situation, the car will slam the brakes on for you. This isn't to be relied upon, guys. This isn't to kind of be there as a fail-safe. So don't brake, you do want to drive as you would normally, but this is just designed there to basically reduce impact speed. So instead of hitting them at 40 miles an hour, the car will trigger the brakes automatically, and you're going to hit them at 2 or 3 miles an hour. Now, I will be honest, guys, this works fantastically. I've had this kick off for me once or twice, and it's actually stopped me from hitting someone in front when they've slammed their brakes on. And I had another customer that was driving up a road. Somebody pulled out in a T-junction. The car recognised that they were about to pull out. They then did so. The car slammed the brakes on, Really, really fast. It comes up with a red picture of a car in the center and makes a big, loud beeping noise as well. It's very obvious when it's going to happen. And they actually stopped about 2 or 3 centimeters away from that car who pulled out in front of them and saved them from having a crash. So it is a really awesome bit of safety feature kit. It never will just misdial. You won't suddenly be driving and then bang, head hits the windshield. It is a foolproof system. It will only work in a crash situation. So what you can do, guys, if you do want to, is this little picture of the car. Click that. If you did want to untick it, that will then turn off front assist. But again, I leave it on, and I always advise my customers to do the same as well. Now, just down here for your view, this will essentially show you what's on these different subheadings. Now, you use this little up and down scroller here, and then that will take you through all these different kind of subheadings, which will give you information about the car. This is your back button, and so that will allow you to then go into navigation, click back, go back to the different ones on there. Now, to run you through, guys, you've got your digital speedometer, which is always a favorite. You've then got your different trips. So you've got your speed warning you can set for it to beep at you if you go over a certain speed. You've got your consumption for the journey you're on. You've got the average consumption. You've got your range in the tank, the total amount of time that the engine's been on today, the distance covered as well, your average speed, and back round to your digital speedo. Go back again, and you'll go back to vehicle, and this will tell you if there's any problems with the car. So again, no issues at all there, which is great. Telephone will tell you which phone's connected, and I will go on and remove this Esme's iPhone from your car as well. You've then got audio. It'll again tell you what's playing, so it could be which radio station, which track's playing, or which song on your iPod or iPhone. Navigation, once you've set up your route, you can then, it will automatically change this screen for you, but if you did take it off and you wanted to check something else, go back to navigation and it will come up with your turn-by-turn instructions just in there as well. And then you've got your emergency braking button. Now, I'll put it back onto the driving data. As I say, this is generally the one that most people ask for it to be left on. As I say, just click it in there and you're away. Now, you've also got, guys, you've got your rev counter on the left-hand side, this big one over here, engine temperature at the bottom, fuel gauge, and digital speedometer as well on there. You've then got your park, you've got your direction you're travelling in, so north, west, south, or east. You've then got your time on there, your trip mileage, and your full mileage as well. Now, just onto here, guys, so this is for your cruise control. Now, I don't know if you guys are very familiar with cruise control. Some people love it, some people hate it. What I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to flick this from off and flick this over to the other side to on. And I want you to keep your eyes on where that's 7988. So if I just literally flick this on, you'll see that it changes there to dash, 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 and then that little picture. That shows that cruise control is on and it's ready to be set. Now, once you're driving, so if you're driving at 70 miles an hour, and that says 70 on there, all you do to literally put the cruise control on is you click this one here where it says set. You click that down, click it in once. That will jump to whatever speed you're driving at. So if it's 70 miles an hour there, you click set. That will then change to 70 in green. You can then take your foot off the accelerator and you'll keep traveling at 70. You can then go 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 74, 73, 72, 71. And basically that's your speed adjustment on the top there. If you want to cancel it, you just put your foot on the brake or flip it straight over and that will deactivate it anyway. So loads of ways to turn it off. As I say, all you do is flick it on, click set, it'll come up with the speed there, and then you're all done and dusted. Now, with your windscreen wipers, guys, as well, you've got here the little instructional bit for you. So off, intermittent, low and high. Now, the car does have automatic wipers, and you want to activate that by putting it on the int one, which is one click up. It will then do one singular wipe, which I just missed it doing one singular wipe, and then it will leave that on auto. So then as fast as the rain is hitting the windshield, it will then wipe away as fast as it needs to go to clear that for you. You can go one stage further and you can click low and it will then go slow consistent, or you can go high and it will then go really fast and consistent as well. To wash the rear windscreen, guys, you want to push this away from you, and to wash the front one you want to pull this stalk towards you. So pull it towards me to front, rear, you push it away, and it's really, really easy. It does take a little bit of time to get used to. Obviously, different cars do have different controls to this kind of stuff. Now, this little picture of the raindrop on here, guys, this will adjust the sensitivity of the wipers. So if, for example, you put it on auto like they are now, and if you think, oh, it's actually coming down a little bit, oh, I want them to be a little bit faster. Well, this will essentially adjust how sensitive they are. So this is on the most sensitive possible, and it will mean whatever the raindrops come down, it's going to be going as fast as it can, or you can again adjust that and make it less sensitive as well. Just down the bottom here, guys, it's a little bit small to see. My iPad doesn't really fit between this little gap, but I'm trying to get it to light up. So you got your lights down here. Now, nice and easy, guys, probably with your Yaris as well. You've got auto lights. Leave it on auto, and then they'll turn on when it gets basically when it gets dark enough outside, and then they'll turn off when it's in the middle of the day and it's light. This just avoids any extra wear on the bulbs, and then by all means, it also takes the issue of having to remember to do it when you're pulling out of your hands as well, which I know I've fallen foul for a couple of times. Now, what you can do, guys, is you can actually put on the front and rear fog lights, which I'm sure you guys will probably need to know. So, to do the fog lights, oops, sorry, I'm just going to try and get this to adjust again because it's not really giving you guys much detail down there. There you go. So, all you do for your fog lights, guys, is you do have to turn it off auto to the low beam, and then all you do is pull this out towards you. So pulling this out towards me will activate the front and rear fog lights. I'm just going to do the same again, but you guys I'll keep on the dashboard. I'm pulling it out one click, out another click, and your front and your rear fog lights are on. And as I say, to turn them off, push it back in, put it back to auto. Couldn't be easier, guys. Now, just down here for your windows, you've got your 4 electric window controls, and then you've got the button to lock the rear windows as well. Just up here, you've got your wing mirror control, so either left or right wing mirror. Adjust that either left, right, up, down, wherever you like it to be. And then if you want to have the wing mirrors to demist or defrost, put it on the little heated setting in the bottom right. And then this little one here is your auto folding for the wing mirrors as well. And click that. If you are going down a country lane and you think, oh, it's going to be a little bit close, you can swizzle that button, they'll fold in, and then all you do, turn it any other way, and they'll fold back out again for you. So really, really nice and easy. And I believe, guys, I think that's about all. I've just noticed, actually, you've got the button down here, just to explain for you guys. I know you've already driven the car, but all you do is put your foot on the brake, press that button, and that'll start your engine as well. So, Mr. and Mrs. Ralphson, thank you so much for bearing with me, guys. Hopefully you haven't fallen asleep too many times during the video. And obviously, if you guys have any questions, anything else you'd like to ask, don't hesitate to ask me on Wednesday, and I'll be happy to cover it for you. Thank you very much, though, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.